Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Imagine the quiet hum of your home as you stand by the door, suitcase in hand. The air feels different tonight, filled with promise, with the gentle thrill of adventure. You lock the door behind you, and the sound of the key turning feels like the first note of a song you've been waiting to hear. Outside, the street is calm. The night sky stretches above, a soft canvas of deep blue sprinkled with stars. You walk slowly, feeling the cool air brush against your skin. Each step takes you closer to the unknown, yet everything feels safe, like the world is guiding you forward. The car ride to the airport is smooth. Streetlights pass by like glowing beads on a string, and you watch them blur into golden streaks. There's a quiet rhythm in the movement, a lullaby of motion that makes your thoughts drift. You think about Denmark, the land of fairy tales, of serene landscapes and timeless charm. Soon you'll be there. Soon you'll feel its gentle embrace. The airport greets you with soft lights and distant echoes of footsteps. You move through the glass doors, and the cool air inside wraps around you. People are scattered like characters in a silent play. Some rushing, some waiting, some lost in their own worlds. You hold your ticket, smooth and crisp, and glance at the destination printed in bold letters. Copenhagen. Feels real now. Feels close. You check in, the process unfolding like a quiet ritual. The weight of your suitcase disappears, and you feel lighter, freer. Security lines hum with quiet efficiency, and soon you're through, stepping into the heart of the terminal. There's a gentle buzz here, but it's not overwhelming. It's like the soft murmur of a distant sea. You find a seat by the large windows. Outside, planes rest under the night sky, their lights blinking like stars on the ground. You watch one glide across the runway, slow and graceful, like a bird preparing for flight. Your own plane waits somewhere out there, ready to carry you across the clouds. Time moves gently. You sip water, listen to the faint announcements, and let your mind wander. You imagine the streets of Copenhagen, the colorful houses along Nyhavn, the quiet canals reflecting the evening light. You picture yourself walking there, feeling the cobblestones under your feet, hearing the soft lapping of water against the docks. And then the call comes. Your flight is ready. You rise slowly, feeling the anticipation bloom like a quiet flower inside you. The gate is close, and as you walk toward it, you feel the world narrowing into this single moment, the threshold between here and there, between now and soon. You step onto the bridge that leads to the plane. The air smells faintly of metal and fuel, but it's not unpleasant. Smells like movement, like possibility. Inside, the cabin is warm and softly lit. You find your seat, settle in, and feel the gentle embrace of the cushion beneath you. Outside, the night waits, calm and infinite. The engines hum, a low, soothing sound that vibrates through the floor. You close your eyes again just for a moment and imagine the journey ahead. Denmark is waiting, and you are ready. You settle into your seat, feeling the gentle hum of the engines beneath you. The cabin lights glow softly, casting a warm golden hue over the rows of seats. Outside the window, the night stretches endlessly, a velvet sky sprinkled with distant stars. You take a slow breath, letting the rhythm of the moment sink in. This is the beginning of something beautiful. The plane begins to move, gliding across the runway with quiet determination. You feel the subtle vibration under your feet, the whisper of speed building. Then, with a graceful lift, you rise into the air. The world below begins to shrink, its lights scattering like tiny jewels across a dark canvas. You watch as the city fades, replaced by the deep, endless sky. Clouds drift beneath you like soft pillows, their edges glowing faintly in the moonlight. You imagine reaching out, letting your fingers sink into their cool, misty folds. The engines hum steadily, a soothing sound that feels almost like a lullaby. You lean back, close your eyes for a moment, and let the sensation of flight carry you away. Hours pass gently, like pages turning in a quiet book. The cabin is calm, filled with the soft rustle of blankets and the occasional murmur of voices. You sip water, feeling its coolness against your lips, and glance outside again. The horizon glows faintly now, a promise of dawn far away. Somewhere beyond that line, Denmark waits. Its streets, its harbors, its quiet corners where time seems to slow. You imagine walking along Nyhavn, the colorful houses standing like cheerful guardians of the canal. You picture the gentle sway of boats, the reflection of lights dancing on the water. You think of the scent of fresh pastries drifting from a nearby café, the warmth of a cup of coffee cradled in your hands. These thoughts feel soft, like feathers brushing against your mind. The plane glides smoothly, and you feel a sense of peace settle over you. There's nothing to do now but wait, nothing to chase, nothing to hurry. Just the quiet rhythm of the journey, the steady heartbeat of engines, and the endless sky outside your window. You let your thoughts drift like clouds, light and unhurried, until the announcement comes, a gentle voice telling you that soon you'll be landing. You smile softly, feeling the anticipation bloom again. Denmark is close now. You can almost hear the distant call of its streets, the whisper of its winds, the lull of its waters. You take another deep breath, slow and calm, and prepare for the next chapter of your journey. The gentle voice of the captain announces the descent, and you feel the plane tilt slightly, gliding lower through layers of soft silver clouds. Outside the window, the horizon glows faintly with the first light of dawn. The sky is painted in delicate shades of lavender and pale gold, like a watercolor slowly coming to life. You take a deep breath, feeling the quiet anticipation bloom inside you. Denmark is close now, so close you can almost touch it. The plane dips lower, and the clouds part to reveal a patchwork of land and water below. Tiny islands float like emerald jewels in a sea of shimmering blue. Bridges stretch gracefully across channels, connecting pieces of earth like threads in a delicate tapestry. You watch as the city begins to take shape, a cluster of rooftops, winding streets, and glistening waterways. Copenhagen. The name feels soft on your tongue, like a secret whispered in the quiet of morning. The landing is smooth, almost like a sigh. The wheels touch the runway, and the engines hum softly as the plane slows to a gentle roll. You glance outside, catching glimpses of the airport bathed in pale light. Everything feels calm, unhurried, as if the world itself is easing you into this new chapter. You step off the plane and into the terminal, where soft light spills across polished floors. The air feels fresh, carrying a faint scent of coffee and something sweet, perhaps pastries from a nearby café. People move quietly around you, their footsteps muffled, their voices low. There's no rush here, no chaos. Just a gentle rhythm, like the slow turning of pages in a well-loved book. You collect your luggage, the handle cool against your fingers, and make your way toward the exit. Glass doors slide open, and the outside air greets you like an old friend. Crisp, clean, touched by the scent of the sea. You pause for a moment, letting the feeling sink in. You are here, in Denmark, and everything feels lighter, softer, as if the world has been wrapped in a blanket of calm. A taxi waits nearby, its engine humming quietly. You slide into the back seat, and the driver offers a polite nod before pulling away. The city unfolds before you like a dream. Streets lined with elegant buildings, their facades painted in gentle hues of cream and pastel. Bicycles glide past, their wheels whispering against the cobblestones. The air feels alive yet serene, carrying the distant sound of church bells and the soft murmur of voices. As you cross a bridge, you catch your first glimpse of the water, a canal stretching like a ribbon of glass, reflecting the pale morning sky. Boats rest along the edges, their hulls rocking gently, as if breathing in time with the city. You imagine walking there soon, feeling the cobblestones beneath your feet, watching the ripples dance across the surface. The taxi slows, turning onto a quiet street lined with trees. Their branches sway gently, scattering golden leaves across the pavement. You feel a sense of peace settle over you, deep and steady like the calm before sleep. Denmark is not loud, does not rush. It simply exists in a harmony that feels like a lullaby. You arrive at your hotel, a charming building with tall windows and soft light spilling from within. The door opens easily, and you step inside, greeted by warmth and the faint scent of fresh flowers. The lobby is quiet, its walls adorned with simple, elegant art. You check in, the process smooth and effortless, and soon you find yourself in your room, a cozy space with crisp white sheets and a window overlooking the city. You set your bag down, take a slow breath, and walk to the window. Outside, Copenhagen stretches in quiet beauty, its rooftops glowing under the gentle morning sun. You feel the weight of the journey melt away, replaced by something softer, something deeper, a sense of belonging, of calm, of quiet wonder. This is where your story begins. Step outside now. The air greets you like a soft whisper, cool and fresh, carrying the faint scent of salt from the nearby harbor. The streets are quiet, bathed in the gentle glow of morning light. You walk slowly, your footsteps tapping lightly against the cobblestones, each sound blending into the calm rhythm of the city. Ahead, Nyhavn begins to reveal itself, a picture from a dream unfolding in color and light. The canal stretches like a ribbon of glass, its surface shimmering with reflections of pastel houses lined along the water's edge. Each building stands tall and proud, painted in hues of soft yellow, deep red, and serene blue, their windows catching the sunlight like tiny mirrors. Wooden shutters frame the glass, and flower boxes spill over with blooms that sway gently in the breeze. You pause for a moment, letting your eyes wander across the scene. Boats rest along the canal, their hulls rocking slowly, as if breathing in time with the water. Some are old wooden vessels, their polished decks gleaming under the sun, ropes coiled neatly like sleeping serpents. Others are modern, sleek and quiet, waiting patiently for their next journey. The water laps softly against their sides, a sound so gentle it feels like a lullaby. You begin to walk along the edge of the canal, your fingers brushing against the cool iron railing. The air is filled with subtle sounds, the distant murmur of voices, the soft clinking of glasses from a cafe nearby, the occasional creak of a boat shifting in its moorings. Everything moves slowly here, as if time itself has decided to linger, to savor the beauty of this place. On your right, a row of cafés and restaurants stretches along the street, their outdoor tables adorned with crisp white cloths and small vases of fresh flowers. The scent of warm bread drifts toward you, mingling with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee. You imagine sitting there for a while, a steaming cup cradled in your hands, watching the world glide by in its quiet elegance. The sunlight grows softer as the morning deepens, casting long golden reflections across the water. You stop at a bench, its wooden slats smooth and cool beneath your fingers, and sit for a moment. The breeze brushes against your skin, carrying with it the faint sound of laughter from somewhere down the street. You close your eyes just for a moment and let the feeling sink in. The peace, the stillness, the gentle hum of life moving at its own unhurried pace. Nyhavn is not just a place. It is a melody, a soft tune played by colors and light and water. It is the kind of beauty that doesn't shout but whispers, inviting you to slow down, to breathe, to simply be. You rise again, your steps light, and continue along the canal. Ahead, the street curves gently, leading you toward new sights, new sounds, new moments of quiet wonder. Denmark is unfolding before you like a story written in soft ink, and you are ready to turn the next page. Imagine stepping into a world where time slows down, where every light feels like a star and every sound like a gentle melody. You walk through the gates of Tivoli Gardens, and the first thing you notice is the glow, the soft, golden light spilling from lanterns strung like pearls across the pathways. The air is cool, touched by the faint scent of flowers and warm pastries drifting from nearby stalls. The sky above is deepening into twilight, painted in shades of violet and indigo. Tiny lights begin to sparkle in the trees, their reflections shimmering on the surface of quiet ponds. You hear the distant laughter of children, soft and fleeting, blending with the gentle hum of music that floats through the air like a lullaby. It feels like stepping into a dream that invites you to wander slowly, to breathe deeply, to simply exist in its magic. You walk along a winding path lined with flowers, their petals glowing faintly in the fading light. Roses, tulips, and delicate blooms sway gently in the evening breeze, their colors rich and soothing. Ahead, a carousel turns slowly, its horses frozen in graceful motion, their painted manes catching the glow of lanterns. The music from the ride drifts toward you, soft and nostalgic, like a memory you never knew you had. Further along, you find a quiet bench beneath an arch of twinkling lights. You sit for a moment, feeling the cool wood beneath your fingers, and watch as the world moves gently around you. Couples stroll hand in hand, their voices low and calm. Children clutch balloons that bob softly in the air. Everything feels hushed, serene, as if Tivoli itself is breathing in rhythm with the night. The scent of warm cinnamon reaches you from a nearby stand, mingling with the aroma of roasted almonds and sweet pastries. You imagine the taste, the soft crunch, the gentle sweetness melting on your tongue. You rise slowly, drawn toward the glow of a small cafe nestled among the trees. Its windows spill golden light onto the path, and inside, tables are adorned with flickering candles. You picture yourself sitting there, a cup of tea steaming gently before you, the warmth cradling your hands as you gaze out at the garden's quiet beauty. As twilight deepens, the lights grow brighter, shimmering like stars scattered across the earth. Reflections dance on the water, rippling softly as swans glide past, their feathers glowing in the lantern light. The air feels cooler now, but not cold, just enough to make you pull your coat a little closer, to savor the comfort of warmth against the gentle chill. You walk slowly toward the heart of the garden, where a small stage glows under strings of lights. A violin begins to play, its notes soft and tender, weaving through the night like threads of silk. You pause, listening, letting the music wrap around you like a blanket. Each note feels like a breath, a heartbeat, a whisper of something timeless. Tivoli Gardens is not just a place. It is a feeling, a quiet joy, a gentle wonder, a melody that lingers long after the last light fades. You take one last look at the glowing lanterns, the shimmering ponds, the carousel turning slowly in the distance. Then you turn toward the path that leads back to the city, your steps light, your heart calm, carrying the magic of this twilight with you. The day has softened into evening now, and Copenhagen glows under a gentle veil of twilight. You step outside once more, the cool night air brushing against your skin like silk. The streets are quiet, their cobblestones glistening faintly under the warm glow of street lamps. Each light pools softly on the ground, creating golden circles that seem to guide your steps forward. You walk slowly, unhurried, letting the rhythm of the city lull you into calm. The buildings rise on either side, elegant and timeless, their windows glowing like lanterns in the dusk. Some are adorned with delicate iron balconies, draped in ivy that sways gently in the evening breeze. Others stand tall and simple, their facades painted in muted tones that feel like whispers against the night. The air carries a symphony of soft sounds, the distant hum of bicycles gliding along the streets, the faint laughter from a café tucked into a quiet corner, the gentle ripple of water from a nearby canal. You follow that sound, turning down a narrow street that opens suddenly into a small bridge. Beneath it, the water flows like liquid glass, reflecting the lights above in shimmering ribbons of gold and silver. You pause on the bridge, resting your hands on the cool iron railing. The city feels hushed here, as if holding its breath. You watch the ripples dance across the surface, slow and graceful, like the movement of dreams. A boat drifts by, its lantern casting a soft glow that trails behind like a comet's tail. You imagine being on that boat, gliding through the quiet canals, the world folding into silence around you. Further along, you find a small square, its cobblestones worn smooth by time. A fountain stands at its center, water spilling gently from its stone basin, the sound soft and soothing. Around it, benches wait in the shadows, inviting you to sit, to linger, to let the night wrap around you like a blanket. You take a seat, feeling the cool wood beneath your fingers, and close your eyes for a moment. The air smells faintly of flowers, of fresh bread from a bakery nearby, of something sweet and comforting. When you open your eyes, the square feels like a painting, lanterns glowing softly, trees swaying in the breeze, shadows stretching long and gentle across the stones. You rise again, your steps light, and wander toward the heart of the city. The streets curve like ribbons, leading you past quiet shops with windows filled with soft light, past doorways adorned with candles flickering in the dark. Copenhagen at night is not loud, does not rush. It moves like a dream, slow and tender, inviting you to breathe, to listen, to simply be. You walk until the sound of your footsteps becomes a lullaby, until the glow of the lamps feels like stars scattered across the earth. And then, when the night feels deep and endless, you turn back toward your hotel, carrying the quiet beauty of this walk inside you like a secret. The morning greets you softly, like a whisper through an open window. You step outside, and the air feels fresh, touched by the cool breath of dawn. The streets are hushed, their cobblestones glistening faintly from the night's dew. You walk slowly, your steps light, following the gentle curve of the path that leads toward Rosenborg Castle. As you approach, the castle rises before you like something out of a fairy tale, its towers reaching toward the pale sky, its brick walls glowing in warm shades of red and amber. The windows catch the morning light, scattering it like fragments of glass across the gardens below. Everything feels still, as if time has paused to let you savor this moment. You enter the gardens, and the world seems to open in quiet beauty. Paths wind through stretches of green, lined with hedges trimmed into perfect shapes. Flowers bloom in soft clusters, their petals glistening with tiny drops of dew. The air carries the faint scent of roses, mingling with the earthy fragrance of damp soil and fresh grass. You breathe deeply, letting the calm settle inside you like a gentle tide. Birdsong drifts through the air, light and melodic, weaving between the rustle of leaves. You follow the sound, moving toward a small fountain at the heart of the garden. Water spills gently from its stone basin, the ripples catching the sunlight in shimmering patterns. You sit on a nearby bench, feeling the cool wood beneath your fingers, and watch as the world moves slowly around you. The castle stands silent, its towers mirrored in the still surface of a pond nearby. You imagine the stories held within its walls, the whispers of kings and queens, the echoes of laughter from centuries past. Yet here, in this quiet morning, it feels like a sanctuary, a place where time folds into stillness and invites you to simply be. You rise again, your steps soft against the gravel path, and wander deeper into the garden. Trees arch overhead, their branches forming a canopy that filters the sunlight into delicate patterns on the ground. You pause beneath one, resting your hand against its rough bark, and feel the steady pulse of life beneath its surface. Everything here feels alive, yet calm, like a dream that breathes in rhythm with your own heartbeat. As you leave the garden, you glance back at the castle one last time. Its towers glow under the gentle morning sun, standing like guardians of a world untouched by haste. You carry the image with you as you walk toward the city again, your mind quiet, your heart light, ready for the next chapter of this journey. The city is waking slowly, like a soft breath after a long dream. You wander through the streets, their cobblestones glistening faintly under the pale morning light. The air is cool, carrying the gentle scent of fresh bread and roasted coffee drifting from open doors. You follow that aroma, letting it guide you to a small cafe tucked into the corner of a quiet square. Its windows glow warmly, inviting you inside. You push the door open, and a soft chime greets you, a delicate sound that feels like the beginning of a melody. The space is cozy, filled with wooden tables polished smooth by time. Candles flicker gently in glass holders, their flames dancing like whispers against the walls. Shelves lined with books and tiny potted plants add a touch of life, a sense of home. You choose a table by the window, where the light spills across the surface like liquid gold. Outside, the square is calm, bicycles leaning against iron railings, trees swaying lightly in the breeze, a few early risers strolling with quiet steps. You sit back, feeling the chair cradle you, and let the stillness settle around you like a soft blanket. The aroma of coffee deepens as a steaming cup is placed before you. Its surface ripples gently, releasing a fragrance that feels warm and comforting. You wrap your hands around the cup, feeling the heat seep into your skin, and take a slow sip. The taste is rich, smooth, with a hint of sweetness that lingers like a memory. You breathe deeply, savoring the moment, letting it unfold without hurry. Beside the coffee, a plate of pastries waits, golden, delicate, their flaky layers glistening with a dusting of sugar. You break one gently, and the crisp sound feels like a secret shared between you and the morning. The flavor melts softly on your tongue, buttery and light, carrying the warmth of the oven and the care of hands that shaped it. Around you, the cafe hums with quiet life. A couple speaks in low tones near the counter, their voices blending with the soft strains of music drifting from a hidden speaker. The melody is slow, tender, like a lullaby for the waking day. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the sound wrap around you, letting the warmth of the coffee and the sweetness of the pastry sink deep into your senses. Time feels different here, gentle, unhurried, like water flowing over smooth stones. You glance outside again, watching the light grow softer as the sun climbs higher, painting the square in shades of gold and cream. You imagine walking there soon, feeling the cobblestones beneath your feet, hearing the quiet rustle of leaves overhead. For now you stay. You sip, you breathe, you listen. And in this small cafe, in this quiet corner of Copenhagen, you find something rare and precious. A moment that feels like peace, like stillness, like the soft edge of a dream. You leave the quiet streets of Copenhagen behind and step into the station, where the soft hum of trains feels like the heartbeat of a journey. The air is cool, touched by the scent of steel and distant coffee drifting from a kiosk nearby. You find your platform easily. Everything here feels orderly, calm, like a rhythm that moves without hurry. The train waits, sleek and silver, its windows glowing faintly under the pale morning light. You step inside, and the cabin greets you with warmth and silence. Plush seats cradle you gently, and wide windows frame the world outside like living paintings. You settle in, feeling the soft vibration beneath your feet as the train begins to glide forward, smooth and effortless. The city fades quickly, its rooftops dissolving into open fields that stretch like green oceans beneath the sky. You watch as the landscape unfolds, rolling meadows dotted with wildflowers, their petals swaying in the breeze. Here and there, clusters of trees rise like quiet guardians, their leaves shimmering in shades of emerald and gold. The horizon feels endless, a soft line where earth and sky meet in perfect harmony. Farmhouses appear like whispers in the distance, white walls, thatched roofs, smoke curling gently from chimneys. You imagine the warmth inside, the scent of bread baking, the quiet hum of life moving at its own tender pace. Beyond them, wind turbines turn slowly, their blades slicing through the air with graceful precision. They look like sentinels of the future, standing tall against the backdrop of timeless fields. The train hums softly, a sound that feels almost like breathing. You lean back, letting the motion lull you into calm. The countryside moves past in gentle waves, patches of forest, glimmering lakes that catch the sunlight like mirrors, and stretches of golden wheat swaying like silk under the wind's touch. You close your eyes for a moment, and the rhythm of the train becomes a lullaby, carrying you deeper into stillness. When you open them again, the sky has shifted, clouds drifting lazily across a canvas of pale blue, their shadows painting patterns on the fields below. You watch as a small village appears, its red rooftops clustered like jewels, its church spire rising like a quiet prayer. Life here feels simple, tender, untouched by haste. You imagine walking those streets, hearing the soft crunch of gravel beneath your feet, smelling the faint sweetness of flowers blooming in hidden gardens. The train curves gently, and the sea appears, vast and shimmering, its surface rippling under the kiss of the wind. Fishing boats rest along the shore, their hulls painted in bright colors that glow against the silver water. You feel a sense of wonder bloom inside you, deep and steady, like the tide moving toward the land. Aarhus is drawing closer now, but there is no rush. The journey itself feels like a dream, a slow unfolding of beauty, a quiet hymn sung by fields and forests and skies. You take one last look at the countryside, its colors soft and endless, and let the peace of this moment settle inside you like a gentle tide. The train slows gently, and Aarhus greets you like a soft smile. You step onto the platform, the air carrying a faint scent of salt and something sweet, perhaps pastries from a nearby bakery. The city feels alive yet quiet, its streets lined with elegant buildings painted in muted tones, their windows glowing under the pale afternoon light. You wander slowly, letting the rhythm of Aarhus guide you. The streets curve like ribbons, leading you past small shops with wooden signs and cozy cafés spilling warm light onto the cobblestones. Bicycles lean against iron railings, their wheels glinting softly in the sun. Everything moves at a tender pace, as if time here prefers to linger. Soon you find yourself by the water. The harbor stretches wide and calm, its surface shimmering like liquid silver beneath the sky. Boats rest gently along the docks, their ropes swaying in the breeze, their hulls painted in colors that glow against the soft blue of the sea. You pause for a moment, feeling the cool wind brush against your skin, carrying with it the distant cry of gulls and the quiet hum of waves kissing the shore. You walk along the promenade, your footsteps light against the wooden planks. The air tastes fresh, touched by the salt of the sea and the warmth of the sun. Ahead, a small café perches at the edge of the water, its terrace adorned with flickering candles and tiny pots of flowers. You imagine sitting there, a steaming cup of tea in your hands, watching the horizon blur into shades of gold and blue as the day begins to soften. The sea moves gently, its ripples catching the light in patterns that shimmer like silk. You close your eyes for a moment, listening to the lull of waves, the whisper of wind weaving through the masts of boats. It feels like a song, a melody without words, sung by the earth and the water and the sky. You breathe deeply, letting the sound settle inside you like a quiet tide. As evening approaches, the light grows warmer, painting the harbor in hues of amber and rose. Lanterns flicker to life along the promenade, their glow soft and tender, casting reflections that dance across the water. You linger, watching the colors shift, feeling the peace of this moment wrap around you like a blanket. Aarhus is not loud, does not rush. It moves like a dream, slow and steady, inviting you to breathe, to listen, to simply be. You take one last look at the shimmering sea, the boats resting like sleeping birds, and turn toward the quiet streets, carrying the calm of this harbor inside you like a secret. The morning unfolds gently as you prepare to leave Aarhus behind. The station greets you with soft lights spilling across polished floors, and the quiet hum of trains feels like a familiar melody now. You board your carriage, settling into a seat by the window, and watch as the city fades slowly into the embrace of the countryside. The train glides forward, smooth and steady, carrying you through landscapes that feel like pages from a storybook. Fields stretch wide and endless, their green softened by the golden glow of the rising sun. Here and there, clusters of wildflowers bloom like tiny bursts of color against the earth. You see windmills turning lazily in the distance, their blades slicing through the air with a rhythm that feels timeless. Villages appear like whispers along the way. White cottages with thatched roofs, gardens spilling over with blooms, and narrow lanes winding between them like ribbons of stone. Smoke curls gently from chimneys, rising into the pale sky like soft sighs. You imagine the warmth inside those homes, the quiet laughter, the scent of bread baking in old ovens. Everything feels tender, unhurried, as if the world here moves to the rhythm of its own gentle heart. The train hums softly, and you lean back, letting the motion lull you into calm. You think of Odense, the birthplace of Hans Christian Andersen, the dreamer who gave the world its fairy tales. You picture cobblestone streets lined with colorful houses, gardens blooming in secret corners, and statues that whisper stories to those who pause and listen. It feels like a place where imagination breathes, where every stone holds a fragment of wonder. As the journey continues, the landscape shifts. Patches of forest rise like green walls, their leaves shimmering in the sunlight. Lakes appear suddenly, their surfaces smooth as glass, reflecting the sky in perfect stillness. You watch as birds skim across the water, their wings tracing delicate patterns that vanish as quickly as they appear. The air feels lighter here, touched by the scent of pine and the distant murmur of wind weaving through the trees. Time moves gently, like water flowing over smooth stones. You close your eyes for a moment, and the rhythm of the train becomes a lullaby, carrying you deeper into stillness. When you open them again, the horizon glows softly, and the first signs of Odense begin to appear. A cluster of rooftops, a spire rising like a quiet prayer, streets curving into the heart of the city. The train slows, and you step onto the platform, greeted by air that feels fresh and familiar, as if it has been waiting for you. Odense stretches before you, calm and inviting, its charm unfolding like a story written in soft ink. You take a slow breath, feeling the weight of the journey melt away, replaced by something lighter, something deeper, a sense of wonder, of quiet joy, of dreams waiting to be discovered. Odense greets you like a gentle whisper from the past. The streets curve softly, lined with houses painted in warm hues, ochre, cream, and muted red, each adorned with wooden shutters and tiny gardens blooming with flowers. Cobblestones stretch beneath your feet, their surface worn smooth by centuries of quiet footsteps. You walk slowly, feeling the rhythm of the city settle into your bones like a lullaby. The air carries a delicate fragrance, fresh bread from a nearby bakery, mingling with the sweet scent of blossoms spilling over from hidden courtyards. You pause at a small square where a fountain murmurs softly, its water catching the sunlight in shimmering arcs. Around it, benches wait in the shade of old trees, their branches swaying gently as if waving you closer. You wander toward a narrow lane, its walls adorned with murals that tell stories without words. Images of swans gliding across silver lakes, of castles rising against twilight skies, of dreams woven into the fabric of time. This is the city of Hans Christian Andersen, and you feel his presence in every corner, every stone, every whisper of wind. Statues stand quietly along the streets, figures from his tales, frozen in graceful motion, their faces serene, their forms glowing under the soft light. You find his childhood home, a modest building with whitewashed walls and a roof that seems to bow gently toward the earth. Inside, rooms hold fragments of a life. A desk worn smooth by years of writing, shelves lined with books whose pages breathe stories like petals unfolding. You linger, imagining the boy who once sat here, dreaming of worlds beyond the horizon, weaving magic from the threads of ordinary days. Outside, the city moves slowly, like a dream that refuses to rush. You follow a path that leads to a garden, its flowers blooming in quiet harmony, their colors soft and tender. A bench waits beneath an arch of roses, and you sit for a moment, feeling the cool wood beneath your fingers, listening to the gentle hum of bees drifting from blossom to blossom. The air feels warm now, touched by the sun, yet softened by the shade of trees that stand like guardians of stillness. Odense is not loud, does not demand. It offers its beauty like a gift, wrapped in silence and tied with threads of time. You rise again, your steps light, and wander toward the river that winds through the city like a silver ribbon. Its surface glimmers under the afternoon light, ripples moving in patterns that feel like music without sound. You watch as a swan glides past, its wings folded like pages of a story yet to be told. You breathe deeply, letting the peace of this place settle inside you like a gentle tide. Odense feels like a dream that lingers even when your eyes are open, a dream that whispers softly, inviting you to stay, to listen, to simply be. The morning begins with a whisper of wind and the soft glow of sunlight spilling across the horizon. You leave the quiet streets behind and make your way toward the coast, where the sea stretches wide and endless, its surface shimmering like liquid silver beneath the pale sky. A ferry waits at the dock, its hull rocking gently against the water, ropes creaking softly as if sighing in rhythm with the tide. You step aboard, feeling the wooden deck beneath your feet, and find a place near the railing. The air tastes fresh, touched by salt and the faint sweetness of seaweed drifting on the breeze. The ferry hums softly as it pulls away, gliding across the water with a grace that feels almost dreamlike. You watch as the shoreline recedes, its houses shrinking into tiny specks of color, until all that remains is the vast expanse of sea and sky. The islands appear slowly, like secrets rising from the water. Their shapes are gentle, their edges softened by the mist that curls along the horizon. You see clusters of trees standing like quiet sentinels, their leaves shimmering in shades of green and gold. Small cottages dot the landscape, their roofs glowing under the sun, smoke curling lazily from chimneys. Everything feels hushed, as if the world here moves to the rhythm of its own tender heart. The ferry glides closer, and you step onto the island, greeted by paths that wind through meadows blooming with wildflowers. Their petals sway gently in the breeze, scattering colors like whispers across the grass. You walk slowly, feeling the earth firm beneath your feet, listening to the soft hum of bees drifting from blossom to blossom. The air carries the scent of salt and flowers, mingling into something pure, something timeless. You follow the path toward the shore, where the sea laps gently against smooth stones. The water is clear, revealing ripples of sand beneath its surface, and you watch as tiny shells glimmer like fragments of moonlight. A gull drifts overhead, its wings slicing through the sky with effortless grace. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the sound of waves settle inside you like a lullaby. Further along, you find a small wooden pier stretching into the water. You sit at its edge, feeling the cool planks beneath your fingers, and watch as the horizon melts into shades of blue and silver. The sea moves slowly, its ripples catching the light in patterns that shimmer like silk. You breathe deeply, letting the peace of this place wrap around you like a soft blanket. The islands feel untouched, like dreams carved from earth and water. They offer no rush, no noise. Only stillness, only beauty, only the quiet hum of life moving gently beneath the sky. You linger until the sun begins to dip, painting the world in hues of amber and rose, and then you turn back toward the ferry, carrying the serenity of this day inside you like a secret. The day begins to fold into evening, and you find yourself standing at the edge of the Baltic Sea. The horizon stretches wide and endless, painted in hues of amber and rose as the sun sinks slowly toward the water. The air is cool, touched by the faint scent of salt and the whisper of waves moving in gentle rhythm. You take a deep breath, feeling the serenity of this moment settle inside you like a soft tide. The beach is quiet, its sand pale and smooth beneath your feet. Tiny shells glimmer like fragments of moonlight scattered across the shore. You walk slowly, your steps leaving delicate imprints that the sea will soon erase, as if time itself is smoothing away every trace of hurry. The sound of the waves is soft, a lullaby sung by the earth and the water, weaving through the silence like threads of silver. You pause near a cluster of rocks, their surfaces worn smooth by centuries of tides. The water laps gently against them, sending ripples that shimmer under the fading light. You sit for a moment, feeling the cool stone beneath your fingers, and watch as the sky deepens into shades of violet and indigo. Clouds drift lazily across the horizon, their edges glowing like embers in the last light of day. Far out at sea, a boat moves slowly, its lantern casting a golden glow that trails across the water like a ribbon of fire. You imagine the quiet inside that boat, the hum of wood against waves, the soft creak of ropes, the silence of a world far from shore. Everything feels distant yet close, like a dream unfolding just beyond reach. The wind brushes against your skin, carrying with it the faint cry of gulls and the scent of seaweed mingling with salt. You close your eyes, letting the sound of the waves sink deep into your senses, letting the rhythm of the sea become your own heartbeat. Time feels different here, slow, tender, infinite, as if the world has paused to let you breathe. As twilight deepens, the first stars appear, scattered like diamonds across the velvet sky. Their reflections shimmer on the water, dancing in patterns that vanish as quickly as they form. You watch until the horizon melts into darkness, until the sea becomes a mirror for the night, and then you rise slowly, your steps light, carrying the calm of this evening inside you like a secret. The Baltic whispers as you leave, its voice soft and endless, promising that its serenity will linger long after you've gone. The night has settled gently over the city, wrapping everything in a soft veil of quiet. You begin your walk back to the hotel, moving slowly through streets that glow under the tender light of lanterns. Their reflections shimmer on the cobblestones, creating golden pools that seem to guide your steps forward. The air is cool, touched by the faint scent of flowers and the distant murmur of water flowing through hidden canals. You pass by small shops with windows glowing like warm candles in the dark. Inside, shelves lined with books and delicate ceramics seem to whisper stories of lives lived slowly, tenderly. A cafe door stands ajar, releasing the fragrance of coffee and cinnamon into the night, a scent that feels like comfort, like home. You pause for a moment, breathing it in, letting the warmth of the memory settle deep inside you. The streets curve gently, leading you toward a quiet square where a fountain murmurs softly, its water catching the lantern light in shimmering arcs. You sit on a nearby bench, feeling the cool wood beneath your fingers, and let your thoughts drift like leaves on a still pond. You think of the journey, the soft hum of trains, the shimmering lakes, the whisper of wind across the Baltic shore. You think of Nyhavn's colorful houses, Tivoli's glowing lanterns, the fairy tale charm of Odense. Each memory feels like a thread, weaving into a tapestry of calm and wonder. Above you, the sky stretches wide and endless, scattered with stars that glimmer like tiny fires in the velvet dark. Their reflections dance in the fountain's ripples, creating patterns that vanish as quickly as they appear. You watch until the world feels hushed, until the rhythm of the night becomes your own heartbeat. When you rise again, your steps are slow, unhurried. The hotel waits just beyond the curve of the street, its windows glowing softly like a beacon of rest. You walk toward it, carrying the serenity of this day inside you like a secret, a quiet treasure that will linger long after the night has passed. Now, you are back in your room. The door closes softly behind you, and the world outside fades into silence. The lights are dim, casting a warm golden glow across the walls. You set your bag down slowly, gently, as if placing the weight of the day aside. The bed waits, its sheets crisp and inviting like clouds ready to cradle you. Take a deep breath. Feel the air move through you, cool as it enters, warm as it leaves. Again and again, each breath slower than the last. Let your shoulders soften. Let your hands rest. Let your thoughts drift like leaves on a quiet stream. You walk to the window, and outside, Copenhagen sleeps beneath a velvet sky. Lanterns glow along the streets, their reflections shimmering on the water like stars scattered across the earth. The city hums in whispers now, soft, tender, like a lullaby sung from far away. You watch for a moment, then close the curtains gently, as if folding the night into your dreams. Now lie down. Feel the mattress embrace you, steady and calm. The pillow cradles your head, and the sheets wrap around you like a cocoon of stillness. Listen, the room is quiet, but if you listen closely, you can hear the echoes of your journey. The soft hum of trains, the lull of waves against the Baltic shore, the distant laughter from Tivoli Gardens. They are not gone. They live inside you now, like gentle lights glowing in the dark. Close your eyes. Imagine the sea again, the ripples moving slowly under a sky painted in silver and blue. Imagine the gardens blooming in silence, their petals shimmering with dew. Imagine the streets of Nyhavn, the colors glowing softly under the morning sun. Let these images drift through your mind like clouds, light and unhurried, until they dissolve into the quiet of sleep. Breathe in and out slowly, deeply. With each breath, feel yourself sinking deeper into calm, deeper into stillness. There is nothing to do now, no place to go. Only this moment, only this peace. Let your thoughts fade like footprints in the sand, washed away by the gentle tide of rest. You are safe. You are calm. You are home, inside yourself, inside this dream that lingers like a soft melody. Let the night carry you. Let sleep find you, tender and endless, like the quiet waters of Denmark under the stars. Good night, and sweet dreams.